What's up, everyone? How's it going? My name is Benson. I'm a product manager here at Planning Center, and today we are here to talk about our newest product, Planning Center Publishing. Publishing allows you to create and share content to your congregation through Church Center, which is available both on the web and a mobile app. You can publish pages and sermons as well as customize your navigation. So publishing is currently in beta and currently free. Once we exit beta, we'll have 3 different pricing tiers, and I'm going to walk through those really quickly for you. We have the free plan, which allows you to edit your homepage and your navigation, the $14 a month plan, which includes custom pages, and then the highest plan, $29 a month, custom pages and sermons. And we built a live streaming experience around your video content, so congregants can chat with their small group as well as their whole church. Now, in this PCU, you'll hear me talking a little bit more about pricing than we typically do, and the reason for this is because publishing is priced a little bit differently. Our features are gated by the different subscriptions levels, so at the different points during the PCO, I'll call that out to just let you know what that looks like. Today, we're going to be doing a brief overview of Church Center, as well as talking through publishing and exploring how you can use publishing to customize your Church Center experience. All right, now before we begin, a couple things to talk about. During or after this session, you might have some questions. So look for that question mark on the top right-hand corner, give that a tap. And this is the best place to get help. People can see suggested articles, they can search the documentation. This is also the best place to submit a feature request if you have one. And you can see right now that our average reply time is currently 40 minutes. Our support team is really phenomenal. They work really hard to get you timely information with links and sometimes even custom videos and links to our documentation or answers to pretty much any question you might have. So please contact them if you have any questions. They are ready to help you out. Second of all, this is recorded. So if you want to watch this later or share it with a friend, you can. Check it out at planningcenter.com/university. We'll have this video as well as our other Planning Center University courses available there, as well as our YouTube channel under the Planning Center user under the PCU playlist, Planning Center University. All right, let's get into it. All right, so with Planning Center, there's actually 2 sides of our software experience. We have the Planning Center side. That is the side for admins and leaders. So that's where you do things like setting up your event. We see Planning Center registrations here. Create your groups. Manage donations. And then on the other side, we have what we call Church Center. And this is the public-facing side, or what your congregants experience when they are registering for an event, when they are joining or interacting with a group, or giving online. And this is available on the web as well as the mobile app. And the latter is what we're going to do a quick walkthrough today. So let's take a quick tour of Church Center app. All right, Church Center app is available both on Android and on iOS on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store, respectively. After you've downloaded the app, you can search for your church. So we are going to look for our demo church here. So allow our location. We're going to use Centerville Church. This is my church. And we're going to go ahead and log in. And to log in, you provide your phone number or your email address, and we send you a code. So there's actually no passwords necessary. This is really convenient. And after you log in, you should be all set to go. So the beauty of this is there's actually no signing up required. With Church Center app, what we do is we take the information you provided, whether that's an email or phone number, and we try to match it with the Planning Center people database. And if we find your profile, that's the profile we match you with and log you in with. Otherwise, we create a brand new profile. This is completely transparent to you as a congregant as you're using the app. You don't get any prompts or anything like that. We automatically create that profile behind the scenes. So it's a really seamless login experience. Now, after you've logged into the app, the home page is what you'll see on the home screen. This is available on the free plan, as I mentioned earlier. I want to call out a couple things here. So on the top right-hand corner, we have the account tab. And from here, congregants can edit their profile and manage a bunch of different things in relation to how they're connected to your church. So things like their giving history, their giving, recurring giving, their registrations, their groups, manage your payment methods, as well as manage your household. On the bottom, we have the navigation. This can be totally customized for your church. You can see here we have a couple different apps that or pages that we are powered by Planning Center products like Planning Center Groups or Planning Center Giving. And this is also where you'll have custom pages show up as well. All right, the other thing I want to call out as well with Church Center app is that you are always logged in. Now, there's a couple different things that are just a lot easier when you're logged in. If you're logged in, then you can access your saved payment methods for giving. So you don't have to enter in your credit card details or your bank account information while you're giving. You just select what your payment method you've added before, and you'll be able to give immediately. This is also really helpful for things like registering for an event. Your household, if you're married and you have a spouse or you have kids, those folks automatically show up during the registration process. So these and other things are a lot easier if you're already logged in, and with the Church Center app, you're always logged in. All right, last, you might be saying, I can't, or I won't, or I don't know if I'm gonna use all these features, and that's totally okay. We have some churches that only use the home screen and just a couple other tabs with the products that they use, and that's it. And the beauty of Church Center is that we can scale with your size and your needs. So you can start out small, or you can continually add more products. We know some customers use barely any, and some customers who are using every single feature that's available here. So whatever works for you. And that's a quick tour of Church Center, and it's available on the web and mobile app. All right, so pretty awesome. But you're probably wondering, how do I get this all customized? And the answer is Planning Center Publishing. So let's take a look at that. All right, Planning Center Publishing. All right, so we just talked about Church Center. So let's take a look at the Church Center settings that are available in publishing. All right, we're gonna go to Update Settings here on the top right-hand corner from the Church Center dropdown. On this view, you can control a couple different things with Church Center in particular. You can enable or disable Church Center app or Church Center web. You can also control which campus locations that people can find you at in Church Center app, as well as edit the URL for Church Center web. All right, those are the Church Center settings. All right, let's talk about pages. Okay, all pages list. This is a list of all the pages in Planning Center Publishing. This includes custom pages that you've created, as well as built-in pages from other Planning Center products. So most of our products also include a Church Center presence, and they are represented here on this page. So you can scroll down and you can see Give, Calendar, Directory. These are all powered by Planning Center products, and they automatically show up. They're what we call built-in pages. All the other pages are custom pages. And so let's take a look at our, well, before we do that, by default, this page is ordered by the last update date. But you can also tap on the column name to order by name if that's more your thing. You can also see whether the page is published or in draft mode, or, and we'll show you later, whether there are pending changes on your page that you're editing. So let's jump in and take a look at what it looks like to edit a custom page. All right, this is the page editor for Planning Center Publishing. Now, we've tried to give you a lot of different tools so that you can make your pages your own. You can style the text with different rich text editing options, as well as insert things like emojis, because let's be honest, that's a really important way to communicate, and inserting images as well as videos. So what we're going to do here is we're going to actually link to a form. So what you could do is we created a form using Planning Center People's form feature and create a custom form for people to submit their prayer requests. So we could type in prayer requests right here, and we could link to it just like that. But what I like to do and what we found to be really effective is to insert an image that kind of makes it a little bit more visually appealing and helps congregants see that this is something they can tap on. So we're going to insert an image instead. We're going to click on this image tool, which shows up here. You can also tap on the image tool on the top in the toolbar here, but we're going to click on this one, and we are going to insert our prayer requests image. And there it is. And we're going to select it, and then we're going to click the link tool, and we're going to link to the form that we created earlier. We're going to hit save. And then we're going to hit Save Draft. And so one thing with Planning Center Publishing is that each one of your pages has this concept of drafts that you can save. And when you save a draft, that means it's been saved to the database, and you can know that you can come back and edit those changes later. Now, we probably want to take a look at this before we send this out to our congregants, and you can do so by hitting Preview. So we're going to hit Preview. All right. What Preview does is it opens up Church Center Web with you logged in, will log you in into Church Center Web and with draft mode enabled. Now, draft mode is a feature that we've built for Planning Center Publishing admins. It allows you to see all your content that has been saved into draft that hasn't been published yet. So this is a really great way to preview your changes before you push them live to your congregation. So let's scroll down and we can see, hey, all right, prayer requests, it's looking good. Now, the other nice thing about this is since this is available for all publishing admins in your organization, you can actually make a bunch of changes and let another publishing admin know, and they can turn on draft mode on their end and view all these changes as well. And so to turn on draft mode manually, if you're not coming from the preview link, tap on the account icon here, go to profile, scroll down, and enable draft mode. Now, draft mode's already enabled here, so we don't need to do it on the web here. Let's go back, but things are looking good, pretty good on the web. Let's take a look at how this looks on the Church Center app side. All right, back to that. Very similarly to the web, you can turn draft mode manually on in Church Center app by tapping the account. Scrolling down to draft mode, enabling that. We have a nice little banner on the bottom that tells us that draft mode is enabled. If we go back to the home page, sweet, we have the image showing up there. All right, things are looking pretty good. So we have draft mode at our disposal, both on the web, on the app, and things are looking good. We're gonna publish these changes. All right, and now these changes have been published live to your congregation. And as I mentioned before, on Publishing's free plan, everything I just showed you, totally free, editing your homepage. All right, on the next plan up, you get unlimited custom pages. So you're probably wondering, why would I use custom pages? Well, let's say, for example, you want to add some more information on your homepage about what it's like to visit your church, or in light of all the COVID-19 things that have been going on, you want to add some information about COVID-19 protocols or changes you've made. Now, we can include all this information on the homepage, but it probably is going to get a little long and not really easy for your congregants to use. So what we can do to solve this problem is to create a custom page and link to it from this page. So we've already created a page called New Here, and we're going to do what we did earlier and insert an image. So I'm going to insert an image called New Here, and I'm going to link this page. Click on the link tool on the top right-hand corner or left-hand corner, and scroll to this section right here under Link List. Link List gives you a list of all the pages that are in Planning Center Publishing, and we are going to select New Here, and we're going to go ahead and hit Save. We're going to go through the same process. We're going to hit Save Draft. We want to go check this out on the web, so I'm going to switch tabs back over to Church Center Web. We're still in draft mode, and the beauty of draft mode is that it live updates. So you can open this on another screen and just watch the changes happen live as soon as you hit Save Draft. And scroll down, New Here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. We're going to switch back over to the app. Also live there, and New Here is present as well. That is looking good. And if we tap New Here, we actually are going to load that new page. So that's pretty great. So being able to create custom pages in combination with being able to link them from other custom pages, this gives you a lot of different options to progressively reveal and layer content so your congregants don't get overwhelmed by a wall of text on your homepage or any of your other pages. So a couple other examples. You might have a page for volunteering or serving opportunities. Well, instead of listing out in exhaustive detail everything you might have about each opportunity on that single page, you could create a dedicated page for each opportunity and link to it from that main volunteer or serving page. Or another example is a staff page. Instead of everyone's full bio on the page, you can create a dedicated page for each staff member and link to those pages from the main staff page. So those are some examples of why you might want the ability to create custom pages in Planning Center Publishing. All right, after you've created those pages, there's two ways for people to find these pages. Now, the first way I just showed you, you can link to it from a page that's already accessible in the navigation. New Here was a page that's published, so it's available publicly, but there was no way for people to get to that page. And so the way that we made that possible was we linked to it from the homepage, which is available in the navigation. The second way, as you probably guessed, because you guys are smart folks, is putting the page in the navigation. And so when I'm talking about the navigation, I'm talking about this bar at the very top on Church Center Web, Home, Groups, Sermons, Give, and More. And then on the Church Center app, that's the tab bar on the bottom here. So let's talk about navigation. All right, back to Planning Center Publishing. So hit Pages, and we're going to go to Navigation. All right, Navigation shows you all the pages you have in your navigation. Shocking, I know, but it's true. This is different than all the pages that you have in Planning Center Publishing. Pages are only available in the navigation tab if you explicitly add them. And this navigation powers both the web and the app. You noticed there earlier on Church Center Web and the app, it's totally identical. And we made a couple considerations to make sure this works well on both platforms. One thing I want to point out here is that you can, we have this concept of an overflow. So in Church Center app, you have 5 tabs on the very, very bottom. What happens if you add a 6th item? I don't know, maybe it'll blow up. No, it won't. An overflow menu will be created. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new item, nav item. And the first step, you get to search existing Planning Center publishing pages, or you can link to an external link. So we'll talk about the second part in a little bit. So we're going to link to calendar. We're going to add that. We automatically have an icon for that. So that is created. So you're all set to go. And you'll see here with the overflow, since it's a 6th item, we automatically create this, change the last item on Church Center app, or the last navigation item, to the More tab, which turns into the overflow menu. Okay, now we just added calendar. Maybe we've decided that calendar is really important right now. People need to know what's going on. So we're going to make sure it's on the front of the tab bar or the top of the tab bar. So you can actually reorder items here using the navigation menu. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was linking to external links. So with Planning Center Publishing, we know that not everyone is using only Planning Center products, though that would be nice. We recognize churches are using all sorts of services. So you might be linking to a Google form, you might be using a external giving service, you might be using something or other, something that exists on the internet that you might want to link to. So with the navigation, you can definitely do that. So you just paste in a link, and you can customize the label as well as select a custom icon for that. So we're going to actually link to a page, the staff page that I talked about earlier. And we have a label pre-filled since it's a page, and then we are going to select a custom icon. Just like the pages, you can save a draft and see those changes. And so if we jump back over on the app here, we can see and tap more, and you can see that the new items have been added and they show up at the bottom. And once that's ready to go, you can go ahead and hit publish. All right, and that's navigation. Okay, so in addition to publishing custom pages and managing your navigation, you can also publish sermons on the highest plan with Planning Center Publishing. So let's talk a little bit about that. We're going to start on the Church Center experience for sermons. So let's take a look at what that is like. All right. We're going to switch back over to our tab here. We're going to exit draft mode. We're going to go to the Sermons tab and the channels. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. All right. Okay, looks like it's not quite set up. So what I'm going to do is actually switch this and talk about setting up the sermon first. All right, so we're going to switch over to sermons, and we're going to work backwards. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is, and it's appropriately named change of plans, which is what is happening right now. So when you set up a new episode with Planning Center Publishing sermons, what's happening is with sermons, you have the ability to create a live stream experience. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening on the Church Center experience after I get this set up. But you can set up a live version of your live stream or a scheduled event. And that is another way to say basically a pre-recorded video. So there's a lot of reasons why you might not be live. And so if you want to do that, you can certainly do that. And what happens with live is that is what congregants will see when they are chatting together. So we're going to go ahead and put in a URL, and we're going to set up a time for right now. So right now it is about 10:50 our time. We're going to say that this live stream is going to start at 11:15. And times are basically when this live stream are going to happen. The other thing to call out here is the library feature. So after, you can use the same video for live as for the library. And this is what happens. The reason why you might want to do that is to give yourself some flexibility for publishing a version of your service that only has sermon content. and in the library version, but you might want to stream the full service on the live stream. So you can do 2 separate videos if you'd like. You can also specify an episode summary, and I'll show you where that shows up on the Church Center side shortly. And you can also add supporting links. So we're going to add a link to give. So we want folks to be able to give online. We also want to link to a membership class that is happening. Oops, we're going to do it this way right here. We're going to link to a membership class that we want people to register that we're going to talk about during the service. Go to hit add. And that's all set. So now we're going to switch over to the Church Center website. So you can see here now the channel page has changed. There is now a live stream happening at 11:15. That's the one we just set up. So we're going to hit watch now. So we have a countdown because we set it up to start a little bit later, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's possible. So we have the info tab, and we didn't put in a summary earlier, but it would show right up at the top right here. You have supporting links for this particular video, the give and the membership class that we created. We also have chat. And so with sermons, you have the ability to chat with your whole church or with your small group. We integrate with Planning Center Publishing, Planning Center groups, and you can chat with your whole church, or you can chat with individual groups. So I can chat with the Blackwell Life group, or I can switch back to the general chat for the whole church. We think this is pretty neat. We think some churches are going to really want the ability to chat with everyone. But then for many other churches, being able to chat with your small group is going to be really, really helpful and a meaningful way to build connection, even though it's a virtual experience. Now, I mentioned earlier, or when we set up things earlier, you'll notice with the links, you had the ability to star a particular link. And this is the ability to feature a link. So we featured the give link. And so that shows up on the top right-hand corner over here. So if you want to feature something else, you can certainly do that. But that gives you some nice options to highlight certain links for your congregants. All right, so that is the live experience on the particular episode. Let's take a look at the channel page. So this is the channel page. This is where you can see upcoming streams that are coming, as well as previous streams that you've done in your library. So videos that are in your library can be watched anytime from Church Center, both on the web and on the app. And you can have, this channel is for weekend service. So if we go back one more step, this is the channel index. So you can have channels for all sorts of types of content. So you might have a different channel for different types of services you have. You might have a channel for your virtual Sunday school or membership classes or leadership training. Basically, any grouping that makes sense for you to give content to your congregation. All right, so that's the experience for sermons on Church Center Web. I want to jump back over now to talk a little bit about some default settings you get with setting up your channels. So let's go back to Planning Center Publishing. All right, on the channel settings page. So I want to call out a couple things specifically under settings. You can include a description as well as indicate whether this particular channel is published. I want to call out enabling watch live. This is the setting that determines whether chat is enabled for this particular channel. So if you have this enabled, you can decide whether you want group chat, which is being able to chat with your small group through Planning Center groups, or you can determine whether you want to have general chat available for this particular channel. In addition, there's a concept of default times. So if you have a reoccurring stream or event that you are doing, this is a great place to specify the times that this is going to go live for your church. So this makes a ton of sense for services. Like every 9 and 11 a.m. on Sunday, we go live, as well as 5 p.m. on Saturday. Countdown is what we were looking at earlier. So you can see here when we jumped into weekend service, and with this particular episode, that our stream is going to begin in 20 minutes. And that's because I set it up for the live stream to begin at 11:15, and episodes become active. And by active, it means that it will show up as watch now on the channel page, and congregants can jump in and start chatting. So you can control this to set this up however makes sense for your church. All right. Last thing, channel stats. Now, we don't really have any stats right here, but basically what this allows you to do is show you the average and total views for the videos that have been available for the specified time range you've outlined here. So we have 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, as well as custom date ranges. And so this is really helpful to give you a sense of the level of engagement that you're getting on the content you publish. All right, that is sermons and also the end of publishing walkthrough. With Planning Center Publishing, there's tons of new possibilities now for publishing your content. You can publish a custom website as well as customize a mobile app. And we think this is a really great tool to help you, give you tools to allow your congregants to get plugged into the life of your church. Now, if you want to roll out Church Center, we have some design resources for you. So if you go back to pages under the Church Center, we have promotional materials available for you. So this includes logos and other design collateral for you to promote Church Center to your congregation. In addition to that, we also have a custom video. What we'll do is we pull your organization name as well as your logo from your accounts settings in Planning Center, and we generate a custom video for your church to promote Church Center app. So if this is something you're interested in, you can contact our support team and they can get that running for you. All right, as a parting reminder, just want to mention that publishing is still in beta. And that means publishing is totally free right now. So we encourage you to sign up and try out all the features we've talked about today. Once we exit beta, the pricing we've talked about will come into effect. And so there's 3 pricing plans. The free plan, which is homepage and navigation customizations, $14 a month, unlimited custom pages, and then $29 a month. That gives you the ability to publish sermons and create a live stream experience for your church. All right, thanks for joining us, and that's the end of this PCU. You can rewatch at planningcenter.com/university or on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us, our support team, through the question mark on the top right. All right, thanks for watching.